Hi everybody, hope you're all well. Hope you've been able to get some practice in this week, or maybe some golf, even though the weather hasn't been particularly nice for us. This week I wanted to take you through one of my lessons, and it's more of a chip shot, let's say, when you're just around the greens, using maybe more of a lofted club. You want to just pop it up in the air, have it landing softly, and just rolling up close to the hole, hopefully. So this is Greg, one of our left-handed members, not too many of them about, but the principles are still the same. So as you're going to see here, he said he's struggling with the contact and the height a little bit of his shots, coming out at different distances as well. So not a great start. But if we roll this on, you will see why. So as he takes the club back, it doesn't go back very far, which is okay, fine. Depends how long you're going, obviously. But we're trying to get this ball actually probably, I'd say we want it to go in the air probably 5 yards from where we're standing now. Hasn't quite enough backswing. So then what he has to do is he has to, as you'll see here, you'll watch that hand, those hands kind of go down and forwards, try and find some speed. The handle then goes ahead of the ball. Also because the ball also being back in his stance. And then this motion here where his hands stop, all of those things combined causes him to then fin the golf ball. So not having enough speed on the way back or length on the way back, he needs to find the speed. It becomes more of a hit as opposed to, let's say, a swing. And then he has to hit it as he's finding force. His hands then stop. Because his hands stop, the club rises up in the air a little bit quickly. And then we get that kind of cupping of his right wrist. And his body also stops because of that as well. So I'll show you the next one and we'll see how we try to improve that. Okay, so the first thing we did before we actually get any balls, we just wanted to explain to Greg why we need the club and to have a little bit more length on the backswing, and why we also need to try, if we can, to have less wrist action through the swing, so that we can keep the bottom of the club staying a little bit closer to the ground through impact, which allows us, or gives us more chance to find the bottom of the golf ball without digging into the ground too much as well. So ball positions change, it's a little bit middle, or more in the middle now. But what we're trying to do is we're actually trying to keep this kind of structure here throughout the whole swing. So we've put a towel underneath his arms to help him keep that structure and feel a little bit more, let's say, connected. So now as we roll it on through, he keeps that to here as best he can. It's a longer backswing, and now, because he has to try and keep it as he moves through, his body has to turn a bit more, his chest is now more facing the target, you can see his hips have turned a bit more, and he still pretty much has that kind of shape all the way on through. So that allows him to kind of hit these high, softer chip shots, I guess, that are just popping up in the air and landing a lot more softly. Now, if we fast forward a couple of weeks, Greg's had 2 weeks to, as I said, to practice now with the towels under his arm, taking that onto the golf course. Obviously, not going to have the towels under his arm out there, but practicing that same motion. And now we're at a point where, as we swing back, it's naturally longer. This was one of the first swings of the day as well. Longer naturally through the golf ball now. The head stays really still. The hands continue past the ball this time. The chest turns, the hips turn a little bit, and that ball just pops up into the air really, really nicely. So hopefully that helps if you're someone that's struggling with a similar issue to Greg. But give that a practice. Put a towel under your arm. You can also use a stick or alignment stick. You might have seen me do that with people before. But if all else fails, let one of us know and come and have a lesson. See you soon.